Hey guys, John here for RollForDamage, and today I actually want to talk about a product I got in maybe a couple of months ago, but I didn't have a chance to really read it or look it over until recently. And it's actually a product that my one of my players, Dominic, had suggested on the podcast that we do. If you're curious, I'm drinking aloe vera cake because this shit's addictive. Anywho, the supplement that I got in is one for Vampire the Requiem, and it's probably one that at first glance a lot of people would kind of at, and that is Strange Dead Love. There's actually a few reasons why I wanted this, because it addresses, well, in a nutshell, it addresses romance in a game, and especially when it comes to vampires. Vampires are very sexual creatures, very sensual creatures, and you know, this begs to differ the question, you know, can vampires love? Aside from using love and romance as a tool to get what they want, it actually throws in a couple of interesting ideas that they call shards. Some of the ideas are such as you have a coterie, and suddenly an elder has taken interest in one of the coterie members. And you know, that can bring up a lot of problems, you know, especially if it's a romantic type of interest. I know there's probably a lot of people who are thinking the same thing I thought of when I first heard of this supplement, which is Twilight or True Blood or what have you, and do vampires fuck? Which is actually something that they addressed in Vampire the Masquerade Eternal Hearts, which is a smut-filled piece of white wolf fiction, but that's something else entirely. I'm a romantic at heart, and I've always tried to bring romance into my games. I've only had it work successfully, I think, once. That was in a Kindred of the East game. But that's besides the point. This actually gives you a lot of tips and a lot of hints as far as what you should keep in mind when throwing in romance. For example, not necessarily everybody might be mature enough to handle that, especially if you play with people that are couples, married, what have you. You know, that can pose a problem. One thing that this book did well that I was so glad was not in here is this isn't a splat book in regards to, oh look, there's new merits, you know, in regards to romance, hooray! You know, that there was none of that, so that was actually a good thing to me. I didn't want to see a bunch of merits how, you know, I have true love at 4, you know, I get a +3 to my dice pool whenever, you know, my true love is in danger, haha. You know, I thought that would have been cliche and pretty crappy. One of the options it does suggest is playing in a True Blood type of situation, such as, you know, a very loose masquerade and synthetic blood, you know, obviously. And some of the ideas that, you know, kind of hints at and suggests is if you remove a vampire's desire to feed, you know, are they capable of love, especially with a mortal, when the desire to feed, you know, is no longer there. What they throw out is the idea of the beast. I mean, obviously, I'm pretty sure everybody who's dated has had some form of lover's quarrel, and you know, imagine that magnified, you know, by the presence of the beast, you know, in a kindred. And I can see some potential there, not just in regard to mortals and kindred, but, you know, kindred to kindred. I mean, you know, the Deva that you think could be, you know, drop dead gorgeous and the woman of your dreams, you know, really literally turns into a vicious bitch, you know, at the first drop of a frenzy. You know, that can really, you know, become unattractive very quickly. At the end of the day, is this a must-have for a vampire player? Probably not. Is it a nice read? It is definitely a nice read. Do I regret my purchase? Not at all. Like I said, I always try to throw romance into my games, even if it is subtle. I go nowhere near to the extremes that are proposed here. So, with that, I'll go ahead and leave it as it is. I don't want to give away too much of what's in this book. I'll leave it up to you guys if you want to take that risk. And until then, guys, remember, roll for damage.